I was able to move around the different breakout groups, and definitely there's a lot of content there, and definitely a lot of discussions regarding how might the future look like. And we're try to frame that future by looking into the challenges that we currently face. I mean, there's a lot of challenges that Stride has done. You have you guys all in this conversation. There's a lot of work that you've done already. But right before we end Stride, we take stock and try to capture what are those things that we still need to do, right? Because the future holds a lot of opportunities as well as hidden challenges from that may be visible to some, but to some it might not be visible yet because they are in different levels of their journey or in different stages of their journey. So I would like at this point I would like to share. Okay, I would like to share with you what we've accomplished. Okay. Please paste the view only link in the mural, Jay, if you can. Messages here. You will have a lot of you will have time. Please revisit this mural anytime at your convenience. There's a lot of ideas here. There's a lot of things that you can look at, which came from our discussions, which our harvesters, together with our moderators and documenters, have shown or have harvested into this mural. Okay, but I would like to draw your attention to the bottom part of this mural. On the gray idea cards that you can see in your screen, you can find that this conversation is while looking forward, um, makes it easy for us also to look back on the challenges and the things that we still need to look at. And I gathered a few technical challenges that I called, and this has something to do with funding, okay? Policies, the ordinances, government rules and regulation, even our company policies, university policies. Another example of policies is the IPR. Okay. Another technical challenge is also on capacity. Capacity to strengthen our technical work. Right. We've heard that in some of the breakout groups, as well as in the report of the Stride performance evaluation team. There were also sorry. There were also technical challenges in terms of models of technology transfer, right? And these models of technology transfer is related directly into the next couple of gray idea cards that I labeled uh, relationship challenges. Okay, and these models are challenged because we hear that there are silos involved in different offices. There are silos even involved in within inter offices within organizations, right? And we just have to consider that it might be a part of life. Okay, right, Albert? Talking about silos, the policy is there, okay, but the harmonization is really a big question. Okay. The other relationship challenge that I heard, right, seems to be coming from the protection of turfing. You know, this is my turf, so all new ideas that might come in or suggestions will be taken with a grain of salt. I'm not actually saying that I won't listen to you, but I will continue to listen to you with my perspective in mind. There is nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying that is a challenge that we are all facing right now. If we want to continue in strengthening our innovation ecosystem, moving towards the future that we want to create in Ambition 2040. Another challenge is also on readiness to collaborate, right? Not only on the science or in the business side of things, but also in the mindset of thinking that I'm good on my own. I can find funds on my own. I can work with people that I know on my own. Okay. And that might be a consciousness that is hounding every one of us, that may be shutting the doors for other possible collaboration that can happen for all of us, especially all of us stakeholders working in the innovation ecosystem. More importantly, if it is working at the regional level, wherein we are at the operational work, so to speak. So, what is the way out of these challenges? And these might be, and these are the the broad strokes of recommendations that I also heard, that I also read from your harvests in the mural. The first one is it might make sense to start where we are. Okay? And where we are at is on uh, revisiting the mindsets, right? First, how do we do that? I'll start with this one, with this orange box here, revisiting mindsets, like on how do we innovate and engage communities? How do we open up ourselves to other ideas? And how do we think about other people working with us? Not only in terms of because we need them, but because of when we need them, there are also needs from other stakeholders that we can or we are able to address. Okay. From the revisiting mindsets, there I've also heard that the part of strengthening the innovation culture is in on identifying and agreeing on rules. Very basic organizational development milestone. I heard that RICs are already on the go. There are some RIICs that are on the advanced stage, but there are all still in the but some are still in the beginning or in the struggle stage. But all throughout of this, it is very basic that when you work with other stakeholders, it is important to identify and agree on roles. Simply by just articulating the roles and responsibilities of the different stakeholders will already be a big step in terms of strengthening that innovation culture. Next, I also seem to hear that there is also of openness or ideas moving towards inter office openness. You know, it all starts with people working together, then influencing their offices to work with other offices. That is easier said than done. That will require a lot of convincing. That will require a lot of maybe revisiting of policies. But we cannot run away from it. Part of the innovation culture is also including our offices to work with other offices, to work with different stakeholders from the government, industry, and academe. Okay. And finally, I think having done all of these three, we give birth to an inclusive collaborative space. Let us not forget that the first I in RIICs is the word inclusive. It means bringing people together, right? Inclusive is such a wonderful term, but sometimes, we get too engrossed with that term, and we forget that being inclusive requires a lot of change in our mindsets and in the relationships that we have with other stakeholders. And part of it is among the different among the different answers in the mural and the different harvest, it is also looking at different relationships as well as relationships with other offices. Okay, not to forget, it's remember the innovation culture is not just organizational development. Okay, but it has to start with that. I'm sorry to say. Okay, do not forget. In terms of funding, I've heard some of the speakers talking about if there is difficulty in finding the funding from one source, look at other sources of funding. Government need not be the only source of funding. There are other stakeholders in the market, or there are other stakeholders within the GIA who might have some resources for us to find funding for our for the direction that we want to pursue, not just in terms of the research, but also in terms of strengthening the organizational capacity of the RIICs, the different relationships that must be put together in order to strengthen that innovative culture in RIICs. Next, find ways to work with policy. Again, like what Albert said in the chat box earlier, part of the policy work is also on harmonization. Admittedly, there are lots of policies in the government, and this I heard very clearly. And if you find difficulty in one of the policies that you are facing, engage and look at other stakeholders in government or industry or in the academe, and look at ways in which other policies can strengthen and support the direction that you are working on. That is why it is very important to that key phrase of working together is very important in this manner, because we also do not want to circumvent any policy. But there might be policies in which, if they are harmonized, even at the level of, even at our levels, and we have the same understanding of those policies, together with consultation and vetting with our national counterparts, might actually help us in working with policy more of as a, as a way to strengthen our work rather than as a deterrent. Okay. Again, going back to mind setting, policies are there to guide us, not to deter the work that we are doing. Finally, this is also something that I picked up from the harvest: responsiveness and capacity building. Okay. And how do you do that? Right? People talking together about the capacity that needs to happen. Okay. It's not just, it's not just one sector thinking about, okay, this might be the curriculum that, sorry to put the academes in this meeting on the spot. This might, but just an illustration, that it is not just enough to think about our internal needs, but also to think about what other needs of the GIA, of the government and the industry, that needs to be taken and accounted for in the capacity building that we need to do. And that doesn't happen only in the academe, but also in government as well as in industry. Capacity building is not just the technical things, the scientific and the research-based capacity building that I'm talking about, but also, more importantly, on going back to that culture and going back to that practice of strengthening relationships, working on our mindsets, and fortifying that inclusive space for stakeholders to come together. This might be generalizations, but yes, it is generalization. And this is somehow giving us an opportunity to not forget the example of Stride. What Stride did was to start, in innovation or in funding, researches and knowledge development. But they realized that, hey, wait a minute, one sector cannot do it alone. It would require the government, the industry, and the different academe to put all of these things together. And you have different contexts that you must look at, and therefore you must have your own ways of thinking about how to address the context together with the different stakeholders that you are working with in RIIC as a platform, or in other possible platform that you can think of. Thrive, I heard from Region 3, the Orobest, or the Orobest Innovation Program in Region 10, and all others. So there you have it. That seems to be what we are talking about, and I hope that capped and summarized our discussions. There are other details, so please feel free to look at the detailed harvest.
Bisa rakapin. Jesus. Sunod ang perwat ng guy, kamala yang kay kuan pa
To formally close this very productive event, I would like to call the USAID Office of Program Resource and Management Deputy Director. Put your hands together for Miss Josefina Cervantes.
Good morning. My hair got gray during the pandemic, so I look a little bit different than that wonderful picture, and yet it was only a couple of years ago that it was taken. It's been a pleasure to be with you this morning. My name is Josefina Cervantes. I'm the Deputy Director of the Program Office here at USAID. I oversee monitoring and evaluation. Albert Aquino, who's on my team, has been working very closely with so many of you, Dr. Rolla, Jerry, the folks from CLAimDev, Mir, Tom LeBlanc, and the education team at USAID. I want to thank you profusely for spending so much time and effort on this very valuable session. It's been a pleasure to see so many of our partners from the government, from academia, from the private sector sharing ideas on how we can move on. And though STRIDE is closing out in a few weeks, our work continues in this area. USAID commissioned this STRIDE evaluation from the Panagore Group to see and evaluate how STRIDE contributing to the strengthening the capacity of higher education institutions in science, technology, and innovation. And the fact that so many of you are here, I think I counted over 340 earlier, is a testament to how much you want to participate in harvesting these lessons and your commitment to moving forward in this area. The evaluation research will show us how to move forward, how to learn from some of these very important findings and some of the points in closing that Jerry summarized from the breakout sessions. We have learned quite a few items from this event. First and foremost, the government has the capability and has demonstrated the capability of establishing an enabling environment to stimulate innovation and partnerships. It's not perfect, but your commitment definitely is noted, and USAID stands with you to support you in this area. Government, academe, secondly, government, academe, and industry associations are open to collaboration. You've seen the successes on how your collaboration can impact progress, and for that, USAID commends you, and we also look forward to working with you on as much as we can on that. We all recognize that we're ushering in a new world. I know many of you during the pandemic probably did things that you never thought you could do with technology, right? I know I've ordered birthday cakes and eggs and milk online or from Facebook from complete strangers and just crossed my fingers hoping that these things would arrive intact and on time. The pandemic has challenged how we conduct research and how technology has changed our life and has opened new markets. USAID continues to support you in this journey, not only through STRIDE's efforts, but also through some of our economic growth and environment office's efforts. We look forward to working with you on those. Today is a demonstration of our commitment to learning from its partners and collaborating with you at the national level, at the local level, with this private sector, with academia, so that we can apply knowledge and technology to productive use. We support these partnerships. We look forward to working with you. And thank you so much for devoting so much of your time and energy to this very worthwhile look at this, at STRIDE, at this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Josefina. Thank you very much to everyone for an opportunity to listen and to also speak out and contribute your thoughts and ideas as we close as we move towards the closing of STRIDE. Thank you also very much for the respondents of the STRIDE performance evaluation. We dedicate this event for you. And most importantly, thank you also to those people, who came across this invitation and thought that this might be an interesting time to spend your half day. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to USAID. Thank you so much to STRIDE, and thank you everyone for being able to be here today. Okay, but wait, there's more. Okay. There is a post-event raffle that we would like to do. Okay, so to be eligible for that raffle, please fill out the evaluation form that is in the chat box right now. We will draw digitally a couple of more winners. And then we will coordinate with you in sending out the prizes to you. So please don't miss that chance to have another go for our raffle prizes. So this ends the Stride evaluation event. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to our speakers and attendees. In behalf of my chief of party, Susan Minashkin, thank you very much for being with us. We will see you soon. Stay safe. God bless. Thank you, everyone.